gets food into the stomach, and you can see a sphincter. What is a sphincter? Sphincter is something like a gate, okay? It opens and closes. Whenever there is food, it will open. Whenever there is no food, it closes, okay? Yes. Next you have stomach, which we already discussed, okay? Stomach is a J-shaped bag-like structure. It has three portions: fundic, cardiac and pyloric stomach, okay? And the stomach is made up of numerous infolding called rugae, which increases the surface area of the food, okay? Surface area of the stomach, sorry, yeah. So why do we call this as cardiac stomach? Because it is very close to your heart, okay? Sometimes people don't know the difference between gastritis and heart attack, because they find pain which is very similar to each other, okay? Then, which just now we discussed, right? Duodenum, jejunum and ileum. So what is duodenum? It is a C-shaped curve, okay? It's the first part of your small intestine. Then you have your jejunum, it's the middle part, and ileum is the terminal part, okay? Yes, so this finger-like projections which are seen in your intestine are called villi. Okay, what is the function of villi? They increase the surface area of absorption. This is very important, okay? And this villi is made up of microvilli. Villi is in turn made up of what? Microvilli, okay? And villi consist of capillary network and a small lymph vessel called lacteal. So every tissue will have lymph vessel and blood vessel. Blood vessel will carry blood, lymph vessel will carry lymph, okay? So understand about villi. From this we didn't do, okay? So villi are finger-like projections. Villi are in turn made up of microvilli, okay? The microvilli contains a capillary network and a lymph vessel, okay? Then large intestine, we already discussed. Cecum. Cecum is highly developed in herbivores, okay? Only this plant eating animals like cow and all, no? Grazing animals. They have very much developed cecum, okay? In human beings, the cecum is very small, okay? Because of evolution, the cecum has decreased in size, and it has one very important vestigial organ called vermiform appendix. What is vestigial? What is vestigial? They are no more in use, or they don't have any function, okay? They can ask you, where is cecum present, okay? Sorry, where is vermiform appendix present? It's present in the cecum, okay? Then you have ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, pelvic colon or the sigmoid colon, and then the rectum. Okay, the rectum ends in anus. So anus is guarded by anal sphincter, okay? Large intestine is 1.5 meter long. Just now we discussed. Any doubts still here? Parts of small intestine and parts of large intestine? Okay. So in your large intestine, you will have certain bacteria, right? All of you are aware, right? In our gut also we have certain bacteria, both in small intestine and in large intestine. What is the use of bacteria? They help in digestion. Your body, your digestive system does not produce cellulase. Okay, what is cellulase? It digests what part? Cellulose. Okay, so that's why they tell don't eat green leafy vegetables during night. Okay, because digestion will become very difficult. So though they are very nutritious, you're not supposed to take green leafy vegetables late in night or late in the evenings. It's always advisable to take in the afternoon, because it puts a lot of pressure on your digestive system. Okay. So have you heard about this probiotics? What are probiotics? Any idea? They are taking bacteria as a medicine. Okay, your Yakult, you have this advertisement and all, no? They take E. coli. Okay, they are all available in powder form. You have to mix it in little bit of water and consume it. Okay, it's a complete healthy nutrition for kids as well as for adults. Okay, so when you're probiotics, bacteria are given. Bacteria and fungi which are good for your gut are made into powder form. They are dissolved in either in water or yogurt and they are given. That's called probiotics. Okay, yes. So curd is a natural probiotic. Now I hope you guys understand. Curd naturally contains lactobacillus. Okay. Yeah, this is very, very important. This I have not done. Histology of human gut. What is histology? What are the different layers? Study of tissues. What are the different layers that are present in your gut? Okay. So first, the innermost layer is mucosa. Can you see here? This is mucosa. Okay. Your entire gut, right from the mouth till the anus, they are made up of these 4 layers. Okay. So mucosa consists of epithelial layer. Okay. It contains secretory and absorptive cells. Okay, then you have submucosa. Submucosa contain connective tissue and it contains nerves and blood vessel. Very important from exam point of view. Then muscularis, obviously it contains muscles. Okay, what kind of muscle? They contain smooth muscles. Okay, and then you have serosa. Serosa is the fibrous layer. So you have, all of you listen, serosa, okay, muscularis, submucosa and mucosa. Serosa is the outermost layer, mucosa is the innermost layer. So which is the muscle containing layer? Muscularis. Which is an epithelial layer? Mucosa. Which is a connective tissue layer? Submucosa. Okay, which is the fibrous layer? Serosa. Okay, write down. So 4 layers: mucosa innermost, submucosa, muscularis and serosa. Serosa is otherwise called peritoneum. Very important. Peritoneum. Serosa is also called peritoneum. So you have in muscles, you have two kinds of muscles. One is, you can see here, guys, all of you concentrate here. I'll zoom in a bit. You can see here circular muscles. All of you, the circular muscle are surrounded by longitudinal muscles. One layer of circular muscle, one layer of longitudinal muscle. Okay, circular muscle means what? The muscle cell will be circular. Longitudinal means elongated muscles. That's it. So understand, and this will be the lumen. Lumen means the hollow space which is there inside the gut. Done? Be quick. Yeah, so this is your entire digestive system at a glance. Okay, whatever we have discussed till now, you can see here. This is your oral cavity or buccal cavity, esophagus, stomach. Okay, then you have your small intestine, large intestine, liver, pancreas. Okay, now we will move on to the next part of the chapter, that is digestive glands. Okay, we studied the entire digestive system. Now we are moving on to digestive glands. Okay, so which are the digestive gland? The first gland is salivary gland, gastric gland, liver, pancreas and intestinal glands. Okay, so we have already discussed salivary, gastric, liver and pancreas. So we'll have a quick revision of all those. Okay, yeah, online students, if you have any doubt, you can unmute and ask me. Okay, so basically there are 3 pairs of salivary glands. The parotid gland, here it's present near your ears. You can see here, this is your parotid gland. Okay, then you have submandibular gland, that is present in your lower jaw. Okay, then sublingual gland. Lingua means what? Tongue. The gland which is present below the tongue is called as a sublingual gland. And what do they produce? They produce salivary juice. Okay, and salivary juice contains salivary amylase. Okay. Yes. So salivary glands secrete saliva. Okay, it contains 99.5% water. It contains mucus. It contains enzyme like salivary amylase, which is also called ptyalin. Okay, which we discussed already, and lysozyme. What is the role of lysozyme? We discussed this. It kills bacteria. It is an antibacterial enzyme. So any bacteria that enters your food will be killed initially in your oral cavity itself with the help of lysozyme. Okay. Then electrolytes like sodium, potassium, chlorine and bicarbonates. Is it clear what does saliva consist of? Okay. Yeah. Then you have your gastric gland. Okay, so here you have three different types of cells in your gastric gland. Where are they present? They are present in your stomach. You can see the gastric gland has in the mucosa. Where are these glands present? Mucosa. You know mucosa, submucosa, then Muscularis serosa. So in the innermost layer called mucosa, you have certain cells, okay. So each cell secrete each kind of enzymes and substances, okay. So you have mucous neck cells, you can see this mucous neck cell, the chief cell and the parietal cells, okay. The gastric gland consists of three kinds of cell, the mucous neck cell, chief cell is also called zymogen cell or peptic cell, and oxyntic cell is also called as the parietal cell, and all these cells are going to secrete a gastric juice, okay, and the pH of the gastric juice is 1.8 to 2. This is important, and it's highly acidic, very important. The pH is highly acidic, okay. Yes, so let's discuss one by one. So first you have mucous neck cell. It's very simple. The name itself says it's going to produce what? Mucus. So what does this mucus consist of? It consists of bicarbonates, okay. So this mucus is going to protect the wall of the stomach. Why it's going to protect the wall of the stomach? Because there is HCl that is present in your stomach. So if I touch that HCl with my hand, my hands will burn. It is that strong. But your wall of the stomach has to be protected. Okay, so that's why you have this mucus, okay, and you have chief cell or zymogen or peptic cell, okay. What is zymogen? We discussed in the last class. Inactive enzymes are called zymogens, okay. So pepsinogen, prorenin and some lipase. Okay, so what is your chief cell or zymogen or peptic cell producing? Pepsinogen, prorenin and lipase. And you have last your parietal cell or oxyntic cell, they produce HCl. Very favorite question. They can ask what does each kind of cell produces. Okay, yes. So we'll discuss about the functions a little later. Okay, yeah. Next let's talk about liver. Liver we already discussed. It is called as, it's the largest gland. It's 1.5 kg. It is bilobed. It has a large right lobe. Can you see? The right lobe is large when compared to the left lobe, okay, and each lobe is made up of numerous lobules. This also we discussed in the last class, okay. See, liver is made up of two lobes. The right lobe is large and the left lobe is small, and each lobe is made up of lobules, okay, and each lobule looks something like this, okay. Can you see? Lobule looks, in microscopic view it is. I cut the liver, I take a cross section of a liver and view it under microscope, I can see lobules like this, okay. And each lobule is covered by a capsule called Glissen's capsule. This also we discussed. Okay, the lobule, your liver is made up of lobes. Lobes is made up of lobules, and each lobule is covered by Glissen's capsule. And each hepatic lobule is made up of cells called hepatocytes. Okay, you see here. Can you see the cells? They are called hepatocytes. Okay, clear guys? Understood? Liver, two lobes, left and right. Each lobe is made up of lobule. Each lobule is covered by Glissen's capsule, and each lobule has numerous hepatocytes which will produce bile juice. What is the pH of bile juice? Alkaline. What is the pH of gastric juice? Acidic. Okay, this pH questions are also very favorite. Okay. Yeah, can we proceed? All of you? Okay. Now you can see, understand this. This is your liver. Okay, in your liver your bile juice will be produced. They will be stored in the gallbladder. Okay, where is bile produced? In the liver, in the hepatocyte. Where is it stored? In the gallbladder. That's quite important. Okay, then you have your cystic duct. Okay, then you have your pancreas also producing your pancreatic juice. So all of it will come and fall in the duodenum, which we already discussed. Okay, that's why we call it as hepatopancreatic duct. You can see this is hepatoduct, this is pancreatic duct. So hepatopancreatic duct will pour its secretion into the initial part of the small intestine called duodenum. So in the duodenum you will have three juices. One is bile juice, pancreatic juice, intestinal juice. Is it clear all of you? Understood? Where is bile produced? Liver. Where is bile stored? Gallbladder. Understood the differences? Okay, good. Yes. Next let's talk about pancreas. Okay. Yeah, this is very important. We had discussed already. Bile has no enzyme. It has what? Bile pigments, bile salts, cholesterol and phospholipids. Okay, again I'll repeat, it does not have any enzyme. What is the function of bile? Can anyone remember? function of bile? Emulsification of fats. It turns fats into smaller droplets called micelles. So it makes it more easier for digestion by lipases. Okay, then let's talk about pancreas. So where is this pancreas present? You can see this C-shaped loop, right, coming from the stomach. You can see in between that C-shaped loop, we call it as duodenal loop. Okay, it's a creamish organ. Okay, it's a heterocrine gland. What do you mean by heterocrine gland? It produces it has both endocrine and exocrine function. What is endocrine gland? They are ductless gland, your insulin, glucagon, all that. Okay, what is exocrine gland? They are glands with ducts. Okay, so here you have two kinds of cells. One is your acinar cell, another one is your islets of Langerhans. So islets of Langerhans is endocrine in function, acinar cell is exocrine in function. The endocrine part we will see in another lesson, chemical coordination. Okay, now let's concentrate on exocrine part. So which is the exocrine part of pancreas? Acinar cells. Very, very important. Okay, so what is it going to produce? It is going to produce pancreatic juice. Okay, and pancreatic juice is also alkaline. Okay, only stomach and your salivary juice is also slightly acidic, 6.8 pH salivary juice. Okay, yes. So what does it contain, pancreatic juice? This also we have discussed. It contains proteases. What are proteases? Protein digesting enzymes are called proteases. It contains trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, procarboxypeptidase, amylase, lipase and nucleases. Okay, so what does these enzymes do? Trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen and procarboxypeptidase, they digest proteins. Amylase digest carbohydrates, lipase digests lipids, okay, and nucleases digest your nucleic acids. Okay, so even when in the food we consume, there is DNA and RNA, so they will be digested by your nucleases. Okay, yes. Then you have intestine. You have two glands. One is, this I didn't do, you have to take it down. Okay, you have two glands, crypts of Lieberkühn and Brunner's gland. Okay, so your intestine has two tubular glands. One is your crypts of Lieberkühn and Brunner's gland. Okay, now this crypts of Lieberkühn contains two kinds of cells. Okay, one is goblet cell, another one is Paneth cell. Try to understand. Okay, the crypts of Lieberkühn is made up of two cells. Goblet cell produces mucus. Paneth cell produces all the enzymes. Okay, is it clear, guys? Understood? Then Brunner's gland or duodenal gland is confined to submucosa. Remember, they can ask you, where is Brunner gland present? Submucosa or mucosa? It is submucosa. Okay, crypts of Lieberkühn is in mucosa. This is in submucosa. They secrete only mucus. Clear? Two glands, crypts of Lieberkühn and Brunner's gland. Crypts of Lieberkühn is made up of goblet cells and Paneth cell. Your goblet cell produces mucus, Paneth cell produces enzymes. Very good. Brunner's gland is confined to submucosa and it secretes mucus alone. And the juice is called as the intestinal juice. Other name of the intestinal juice is succus entericus. Okay. Can we proceed? Online students, any doubts? Are you getting? Please respond.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Yeah. So the intestinal glands secrete alkaline. Again, remember, intestinal juice is also alkaline. The juice is called succus entericus, which I already discussed. Okay. Yes. What are the enzymes present in your intestinal juice? Maltase, lactase, sucrase, dipeptidase, lipase, nucleotidases, nucleosidases. Okay. So what does maltase do? Digest maltose. lactose. What does lactase do? Digest lactose. What does sucrase do? They digest sucrose. What kind of sugars are these? Maltose, lactose and sucrose. Are they monosaccharide, disaccharide, polysaccharide? Very good. Disaccharides. Maltose is made up of glucose. Lactose is made up of glucose, and now everyone's mind will be alert. We discussed biomolecules we did, right? Monosaccharides and disaccharides and polysaccharides. Okay, you should be so perfect that as soon as you see a molecule, you should be able to identify what kind of molecule it is. What is starch? Is it a monosaccharide or a polysaccharide? Polysaccharide. Monosaccharides are only glucose, galactose, fructose, ribose. They are all monosaccharides. Okay, disaccharides are these. Polysaccharides are starch, glycogen, okay, chitin, cellulose. They are all polysaccharides. Please go through biomolecules once. Okay, yes. So the bicarbonate and mucus provide an alkaline medium